Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, everybody? Michael Buckheischer here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Become a member only over there. We had 2 brand new members last night. Very excited about that. So you guys were curious what a members is. You get behind the scenes footage. You get extra blogs from us. And you get to interact with us on a personal level. And we're getting to know people very, very well over there. And it's very, very exciting. You can join us as little as $3 a month. You get a hoodie or a t-shirt of your choosing after 6 months of being a member as well. If you're going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can check us out on iTunes, Spotify, or iHeartRadio as well in podcast form. If you're listening to us in podcast form, leave us a ranking. That'd be highly, highly appreciated. And it also helps the show grow very much so. So if you are listening over here on youtube.com/Man Hour, be sure to hit that like button tonight for us, guys. Smash that like button. Let's interact in the chat as well. We got big things happening over there. We are doing loyalty giveaway points. So whoever has the most loyalty points at the end of the week gets a prize from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Brandon Combs. Speaking of which, welcome to the show, Brandon. What's going on, man?
What is going on, Man Hour Nation? Good look, football season's over.
Football season's not over. It's just starting. It's 213 days away.
Baseball season is upon us.
It is.
That's all that matters.
So one of the big things about baseball season, Combs, is like the summer starts to happen. You start to get out in the world more. You can no longer, say, oh, I'm in quarantine. Like it's cold. It's time to get out and time to explore yourself. And it's time to start taking care of yourself. And what better way to take care of yourself, Combs? You have to have a fresh shaved beard, man. Like you are always on point. Like your beard is always on point. Like I never see any scraggling. Like you always got it nice and fine tuned there. Like how do you do that, man? Let the people know your secret. How do you do that?
I shower, and when I get out of the shower, I trim it up and I shave. I manscape.
You manscape. So speaking of Manscaped tonight's show is sponsored by Manscaped. So if you guys are over in the YouTube channel right now, youtube.com/Man Hour, you can put #Man Hour for a chance to win a Manscaped package. So with that being said, just put the #Man Hour over there in the chat for a chance to enter in that giveaway as Mike Reeves comes on and says, I will have a mustache soon as well. Mike,
did you hear about that?
No.
So they had a bet going on all season with, I think it was with the picks. Correct me if I'm wrong, Reeves. But they had a thing going on between the 3 of them with the picks, and the loser of the picks had to do a show in just a mustache. So Mike Reeves is going to have just a mustache soon. He's just going to have the important stash. He's not going to have the the fine-tuned beard. He's going to be out there looking like he is on the cover of Hustler.
So with that being said, Mike, if you want to win a manscaping, prize pack, head over to youtube.com/Man Hour and give that giveaway. And Penelope Smith says, I'll have to give my giveaway away. So, joke's on you, Penelope. Cindy uses the manscaping stuff that I got in the mail, and it works better than her Just Venus or whatever the 18 blade razor is that she uses.
I'm pretty sure Michelle steals my razors every once in a while and doesn't tell
100%.
me. My trimmer and all that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she steals it and doesn't.
So I'm not even going to lie. For the longest time, I would prefer to use Cindy's razors like on my face, like when I did shave, just because they had like that moisturizing barrier, and stuff like that, and it felt really good. And then like she's like I would prefer to use your razor like on my legs. I'm like, well, let's just flip flop. Why not? So guys, like I said, tonight's episode is brought to you by Manscaped. So if you head over to youtube.com/manhour, the giveaway should be started right now. So just simply put hashtag manhour for a chance to win that prize package. So Combs, obviously the NFL season is over. We are looking forward to baseball season, college basketball.
Over. 2 seconds ago, you said it wasn't over. Now you're saying it's over. What? Make up your mind, Buck.
I mean, the 2020 season is over, but the 21 season is 213 days away till kickoff. But the Dallas Cowboys released a hype tape for next year, and and like they were like putting in players from I don't know, Drew Bledsoe's era from last night, Coach or Combs. So
yeah.
So the Cowboys literally put every player in.
Aikman was in it. They had Aikman was in it. They had, I mean, and players from today were in it, but there was one noticeable guy who was missing. Why don't you tell us who that was, Buck?
I believe it was the one-leg wonder. It wasn't Aaron. It wasn't Aaron Rodgers because he doesn't play for the Cowboys yet. It wasn't Jimmy G because he doesn't play for the Cowboys yet. But the player that does play for the Cowboys still, it was Dak Prescott. Their quote franchise quarterback, their quote $100 million guy, their quote their future, and you conveniently left your guy off of the hype tape for next year. Like,
so does that put the writing on the wall that Dak is now a part of this quarterback carousel? I mean, because if you're not a part of the hype tape, chances are you're not there, right? I mean, I can't imagine that quarterback, especially him, is not in this thing when you're hyping up your following season. You want your best players in your hype tape.
Yeah.
Every time you see a hype tape, it's always the stars of the team that are in the hype tape.
Exactly.
And Dak is unquestionably the biggest star that they have. He's their best player. He proved it before he got hurt. Like, it's not even a question of whether or not he is the best. He's the best player they have.
I would go on a limb and say he's fourth best player on the team that they have, but he is the most important player.
Yeah.
Like I would probably put Amari Cooper above him, Zeke, and then I really do like their left tackle when he's healthy. What's his name? Tyron Smith. Like when he is really healthy, he is a very, very dominant figure. But
Dak got hurt and still led the league in passing for like 4 weeks. Like,
right.
How is he? What do you mean he's not the best? He's definitely the best player. He might even be the best quarterback in that division.
Ooh, that's a bold statement, Cotton, because you still have Carson Wentz, a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do not get me started on Carson Wentz. Get out of here. Stop it with Carson Wentz.
I mean, you even have, honestly, looking at it, hindsight here, looking forward, not hindsight, but looking forward here, this could be the best quarterback division in all of football. If you keep Dak Prescott and Dallas, you have the best young quarterback division in all of football, I think.
So you really like Danny Dimes?
Yeah, I am high on him, yes.
You're crazy. But you were high on Mitch Trubisky, too.
I was not high on Mitchell Trubisky. What do you
get out of here? You gave me crap all the time about Mitch Trubisky when I said that the Bears needed to go away from him this season.
I'm just saying, you would hate him. You would hate him a whole lot less if he was on a different team.
I would hate him a whole lot less if he would produce. That's the difference.
He does produce. He led you to 2 playoffs.
People say that all the time. Oh, if he did this on another. No, you know what? There was another guy on another team who does what Mitchell Trubisky does, and I don't like him as a quarterback either. And that's Carson Wentz. I said this last night. If you go into a store and you're in the cereal section and you've got Cocoa Pebbles to your left, and then you got that bag cereal to your right that's $4 cheaper, and you get more of it, but it's called Cocoa Rocks instead of Cocoa Pebbles.
Yeah.
Then Carson Wentz is the Cocoa Pebbles, and Mitch Trubisky is the Cocoa Rocks. The same damn thing, but 2% less of one of the ingredients.
So speaking of Cocoa Rocks, do you shave your Cocoa Rocks? Manscaped will definitely help you shave your Cocoa Rocks if you are interested in doing that. So
I'm gonna be like Gronk. I can't find my balls.
Head over to youtube.com/manhour and give us #manhour for a chance to win that Manscaped package that we are giving away tonight. So pretty excited about the Manscaped sponsoring tonight's episode. So Combs, let's circle back to the Dallas Cowboys thing here. And you said, is the writing on the wall? I don't think there was ever any doubt in my mind that Dak Prescott was not going to be a Dallas Cowboy this season. Meaning, like, I think the Cowboys were going to do like a sign and trade, like that is in their mind, 100%. Because you cannot let a quarterback like Dak Prescott, with the potential of Dak Prescott, to walk scotch free, right? Like you need to get a second or third. I mean, well, let me ask you this: if you were the Chicago Bears general manager, and like you had to trade for Dak Prescott, what would you give for him? Would you give him a first round, a second round, 2 first rounds? Like, what do you think the price tag for Dak Prescott is?
For Dak Prescott, I think it's got to be close to what you're doing with Deshaun Watson.
Really?
I think it's closer to what you're getting with Deshaun Watson than it is to what you're getting with what you got out of Matthew Stafford, for sure. I mean, because to me, Dak Prescott and Deshaun Watson are pretty much the same quarterback. I mean, they're very talented. They're very mobile, and they're going to lead your team to a lot of victories. So, I would think that you're going to get maybe not as much for Deshaun, because for me, Deshaun's still a little bit better than Dak Prescott, but you're going to get almost just as much. You're definitely going to get more than what they got from Matthew Stafford in Detroit, I would think, right? I mean, do you think I'm wrong in there?
You know, the problem with Dak Prescott right now is he did come off a career-altering injury. Like I believe it was Mike sat here on the show saying that one of his friends from the Army had that same injury and like he can never run quite right again, right? Like I believe he got medically discharged like a couple years out, like just like after that. So anytime you dislocate or break any type of bone, you don't know how you're going to react for that coming up. With that being said, it is a high risk, high reward type of thing. So do the Bears think that Dak Prescott is a high risk, high reward? I don't think so. I think there are other people out there that fits the Bear systems little bit better.
The reason why the Bears won't get him, and I've said this before, is because of the color of his skin. It has nothing to do with the fact that the Bears are going to go out and get Carson Wentz because Carson Wentz has tremendous upside, because everybody is always about that upside, and that's the only thing that Carson Wentz has is an upside. But I just think he's past that peak. He wasn't very good at the last half of last season. He wasn't good at all this season. So I think that's who the Bears end up with because they're fascinated by those types of quarterbacks, which that's why they drafted Mitch Trubisky. The Dak Prescott, to me, if I'm the Bears GM and Virginia McCaskey isn't in my ear talking about white quarterbacks, if she's not in my ear, I'm giving you probably 2 first-round picks, a third, and one of our defensive, studs. Whether it's Khalil Mack, whether it is Roquan Smith, whether it is a cornerback, whichever one of my big-name defensive weapons you want, I'm giving you that plus those picks for Dak Prescott for sure.
Man, that you are basically giving him the house, the sink, and you're paying the closing costs like at that point.
You're not going to find anything over the next 2 years in the first round that's better than Dak Prescott, or in the third round that's better than Dak Prescott. And one of your defensive, you're so deep defensively that you can withstand one of those guys leaving you.
I just think that is a very, very steep price tag for any quarterback.
That's a franchise quarterback. For the next 10 years, one of those guys is going to lead your team.
Maybe, but we will get more into this talk after the break. Bye, guys. We are going to take a quick little break. Like I said, tonight's episode is brought to you by Manscaped. So you guys can head over to youtube.com/manhour, put #manhour for a chance to win a Manscaped giveaway package that they're giving away for us tonight. So, guys, stay tuned. On the other side of the break on Man Hour, we're going to talk some NFL rewards. If you miss any part of the show whatsoever, head over to manhourradio.com and listen to us on podcast form. We'll be right back right after this. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Like I said, if you miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can check us out on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio as well. The show is also replayed every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. and at noon on 313 The Flash. So head over to 313theflash.com and check us out over there as well. Be highly appreciated. But like I said, tonight's show is brought to you by Manscaped. You head over to youtube.com/Man Hour. Give us hashtag Man Hour in the chat. You get a chance to win a Manscaped giveaway pack. So Combs, there have been a lot of comments rolling in tonight, and if you're like, let's go ahead and address some of those comments before we move on to the NFL award section here.
So you got let's see, I gotta go back up to some of these here. Let's see, Milton Mania starts us off with
oh yeah,
rest in peace Marty
Schottenheimer, 77 years old
of all time.
Yep.
You would know him, I mean, over there with the Chiefs. Very sad. He's been battling Alzheimer's since 2014, I believe it was.
Right.
And he passes away. So definitely sad news in the NFL world. So,
I mean, like, honestly, like, that is a great fight that he put up. I mean, that's 7 years. I mean, usually Alzheimer's, once you start to go, I mean, it's pretty quick. I mean, but
and
it's also very
that's a tough
for the
disease to
family.
watch people go through. Dementia and Alzheimer's. I mean, those are nasty. Junior says, my girlfriend called me and I declined it and told her I was watching you guys and I think I'm in trouble.
Well,
first lesson as a man, buddy.
If you would tell her to just join us, I mean, you guys can chat in the YouTube section. Yeah, for sure. Chat in the YouTube section. Hashtag Man Hour.
Saying Wentz is a top 10 is like saying the Chiefs should have been in this. The Chiefs were in the Super Bowl. So you're saying Carson Wentz is a top 10?
There you go. Carson Wentz is a top 10 quarterback. My man. Jumping on the Buck train.
Yes, but they shouldn't have been is what I'm saying.
Why shouldn't the Chiefs have been in the Super Bowl? I mean, they played pretty damn well through the AFC playoffs side.
There it is. Because they should have lost to the Browns, but the refs were on. Stop it with the refs. Yeah. Stop it. Look, the refs are bad in just about every game. So if you go in knowing that the refs are going to be bad, you can't blame the refs. You have to overcome that.
one of our top fans over on the Facebook page, Jameson, like he has been sharing a lot of 49ers Chiefs pictures from last year's Super Bowl of like holding calls and like out of bounds calls and like all this stuff, and he is still butthurt about that. But like, let's be honest, the 49ers shit the bed in the end.
Dakota Prescott's value, that's the first time I've heard him call it Dakota. Value is 2 firsts and 2 thirds. Yeah,
that's a lot, guys. Like,
look,
do you
they're talking about for Deshaun Watson, you're gonna have to give up at least 3 first-round picks and a third.
There is no way I'm
and
giving
an
up that much.
NFL-ready quarterback.
Like, there is no way I am like. So basically, you are wanting me to alter my franchise for the next 6 to 7 years.
If you are a quarterback away, it makes sense. It makes sense for the Bears. If you are a quarterback away, there are a couple teams in the league that it makes sense. The Colts. The Colts could absolutely afford right now to give up 2 first-round picks over the next 2 years and a third for a quarterback.
So
absolutely.
I actually wanted to talk to you about the Colts just because, people are saying that Deshaun Watson is going to the Colts because they have the most trade capital. They have the most cap room, yada, yada, yada. But we saw the Chiefs lose one offensive lineman to an Achilles injury, and that destroyed their whole offensive line. So think about this. If the the Colts had one of the best, like, let's just flat out and say it, they have the best young offensive line of all of football. But if they lose one guy off of that shuffles the whole line, Combs. I mean,
but they're deep. They've got guys in
waiting
that are just that are pretty damn good too.
They traded 2 of those guys to the Packers, I thought.
I'm not sure. I don't think they did.
Yeah, but okay.
Jameson here. Patriots should trade for Dak. Bears should trade for Jimmy G. Colts should trade for Carson Wentz. No, they shouldn't. San Francisco should trade for Sam Darnold. I agree with all of those with the exception of, for me, if I'm the Colts, my number 1 trade target is Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson puts you in the same category as the Kansas City Chiefs over the next 10 years. You guys will battle it out in the AFC Championship game like the Patriots and the Colts did back when it was Brady and Manning. Every single year, it will be you two in the AFC Championship game, seeing who goes to the Super Bowl. Deshaun Watson should absolutely be the Colts' number 1 target. He should be everybody's number 1 target, but definitely the Colts.
Here is the biggest thing about the Colts right now. They are built for an Andrew Luck type quarterback, not very mobile, sit in the pocket, great offensive line, a killer.
But Deshaun is a pass first quarterback. He's only been running in Houston is because his line collapses, just like the Chiefs line was collapsing in the Super Bowl. He's running for his life most of the time. And they traded away all of his playmakers. So he had no choice but to run most of the time.
I would give you that, but like certain quarterbacks just play better outside the pocket, and I think Deshaun Watson is that type of quarterback. He does not feel that comfortable sitting in the pocket for 5-6 seconds. Like
he's a playmaker like Patty Mahomes. Like when
Right.
you have that guy who can make things happen, and you've got all that talent around him, you go and you make that move. Like you can adjust some things to form to his game, but for the most part, you're not going to have to because he is so talented that he will adjust to what you have. And if you're protecting him in the pocket, he's got the arm strength, he's got the quarterback vision, he's got the IQ to sit in that pocket and play your game. Deshaun Watson would be perfect in Indianapolis.
Let me throw you this hypothetical question here. Do you think Deshaun Watson was so good in Houston just because there were not expectations there to be great? Like, do you think he is a type of player that like kind of like Odell Beckham Jr.? He did pretty damn good in New York, but once he was expected to do something, he shit the bed.
He was good in college. He took a national title away from Alabama. He's been good in the pros. He's been good everywhere that he's just that damn good. It's not about the expectation. I think this kid could stand up to any expectations you put him in. Put him in any uniform you want, in any market that you want, and he's going to shine. I would, though those rocks you were asking if I shaved, I would give both of them up to have Deshaun Watson in a Bears uniform next year.
Speaking of shaving, guys, tonight's episode is brought to you by Manscaped. You head over to youtube.com/manhour and put #manhour into the chat there. You get entered in to win a Manscaped package. So definitely get on that 100%.
Let's see what else we got here. No, the Pats need Jimmy G. He doesn't want the Bears to get him. He wants the Pats to get him.
If the
Pats,
Packers,
this is what I'm talking about. Patriots fans want everybody. They
Some
think
of the Bears
everybody's
fans,
going to the
right?
Patriots. We just want a quarterback. Well, not everybody. The Patriots, they want every single top position player that is on the market in a Patriots uniform, and they legitimately think that that's where they're going. Like, they're like, oh, he's coming to the Patriots. And then when they don't get him, they're like, oh, we didn't need him anyway. He sucked. We're like, that's how Patriots fans are.
That's exactly how Kentucky fans are in their basketball. Like
It's
they
most
think
fan
they should
bases.
get
I'll give them
every
that.
recruit. Yeah.
Yeah, most fan base. I would say I would say probably 45% of fans in all fan bases are that way. They're not loyal. I had a guy today on Facebook I got in an argument with because he said that the Cardinals should have let Yadier Molina walk. This is a guy who has been the face of your organization for years and years and years, and you don't want to give him a 1-year deal to retire as a Cardinal and maybe get a shot at winning a weak division and maybe winning another World Series? Like, what? What
Are
is
you
wrong
telling me
with
that he does not put your team in the best position to win? You know,
He's 38, so he's old.
Yeah, but you sat here on the show and said that you would rather have a veteran catcher with a young pitching staff, and the Cardinals have a fairly young pitching staff, right?
Yeah, well, they don't really have enough pitching. They really do need pitch. I mean, they're inept at pitching, and they don't have any outfield help. They definitely need outfielders. But Yadier Molina, man, I can't see Yadier Molina in any other uniform. I just can't. Like, and I hate the Cardinals, but I respect the hell out of a guy like Yadier Molina, and he deserves.
Spoiler: he gets traded midseason.
No. I mean, unless they're totally crap in the bed and they have no shot at winning they might trade him to a contender to let him chase another ring. But I don't even think he would want out. He loves St. Louis so much. I just can't see it, man. I can't see it at all. Who's playing wide receiver in Indianapolis? Hilton is a free agent.
Hilton will be back. So there are certain players that belong in certain uniforms, and Hilton is one of those guys. I mean, like I don't foresee Hilton leaving. Like honestly,
I mean,
I bet you everybody on the Colts come back. Everybody on the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, but they've got a few more wide receivers though, other than just T.Y. Hilton. I mean, you had Pittman, you had what's his name, DeMichael Harris, Devin Funchess is still there. They've got weapons. I mean, if they lost T.Y. Hilton, it would sting. But I mean, look, T.Y. Hilton's not. Everybody thought T.Y. Hilton was going to. Yeah, they thought T.Y. Hilton was going to be Tyreek Hill.
Right.
I mean, let's just be honest. That was what he was supposed to be. Is who Tyreek Hill is. So I don't think losing Hilton is a huge deal. Because they are.
And let's be honest, there are a lot of free agent out there, like a lot of free agent wide receivers out there. Like anyway, so if you lose Ty, you can go get Odell, you can go get Juju. You know, there are.
I don't
tons
bring
of
Odell
options
into
out
that
there.
locker room, man.
Well, but like
not that guy.
But I'm just saying, like there are plenty of
there's
valuable options out there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Heck, Antonio
and
Brown's
some
a
of them
free
might
agent.
even be an upgrade over T.Y. Hilton, right?
Right. Juju.
You know, so Funchess was in Green Bay this year.
Functions opted out, I thought.
Yeah. Pascal's another one that they have. So
I don't like him.
You know, why?
There are certain guys that just rub me like the wrong way, and that guy just rubs me the wrong way. Like just the way he looks into the camera makes you want to punch him in his face.
Okay.
No,
Underrated signing today, Jordan Zimmerman. That is an underrated signing. Very low risk, high reward for the Brewers there. That kid can flat out pitch. Coming from Washington, he was really, really highly touted coming out of college, out of the draft. Like, they thought that this kid was going to be something different. I believe it was Detroit who drafted him. And he just hasn't played up to his potential, hasn't pitched up to his potential. But Jordan Zimmerman is a very good pickup for a Brewers team that is really lacking pitching depth. That's a really good signing. Like Torrey Anderson said, that's very low risk, high reward. That's a good signing for the Brewers. I wish the Cubs would have done it, but hey, Brewers did it instead. So congratulations, Torrey.
Before we move on to the NFL awards talk here, pop up that last comment by Junior here, saying that Odell Beckham Jr. is staying in Cleveland, or he sees him going to the Bucks. The Bucks don't want Odell. The Bucks don't need. You
know
Odell
who wants Odell? And I know that
Giants.
I just got done saying New England fans want everybody. Bill Belichick has loved Odell Beckham for a long time. I would not be surprised to see Odell in a Patriots uniform. I don't know who's going to be throwing him the ball, but I would not be surprised to see Odell Beckham in a Patriots uniform next year.
It is going to be Wayne G's guy, Nate Studfield, or whatever that guy's name was.
I think that Bill Belichick watched Tom Brady win the Super Bowl and is listening to all the people talk about how it was Brady and not Bill and this and that. I think that Bill Belichick makes a ton of moves this year to try to get them relevant again next year.
And people fail to understand that the Patriots had like 12 starters opt out of the season.
Yeah,
their whole defense basically opted out.
Yeah, most of them were defensive, but they still, they have no running back, they have no wide receivers, they have a really bad offensive line, they have no quarterback. That you can have your defense all you want, but you're gonna have to win 3-0 every single week.
You know who won a Super Bowl winning 3-0 every week? 2000 Baltimore Ravens. So it's very, very possible. So I wouldn't mind seeing Odell in San Francisco. There's a lot of fandom talking like out there. Combs, you want everybody to come to Chicago. Junior wants everybody in New England, and Jameson wants everybody.
He stays in Cleveland.
I don't think Cleveland wants him. Look how better Cleveland was without Odell Beckham in the lineup.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that if you can get Odell out of his head, though, and you can humble him a little bit, I think maybe seeing how good they were without him, maybe that does humble him. I've seen that happen to players in the past where they're like, oh, well, let's see how you do without me. And then they do very well without you, and you're like, oh, all right, maybe I wasn't that big of a difference as I thought I was. Maybe it humbles him. Maybe he comes back. Because I'm telling you, a talented Odell Beckham and an Odell Beckham that is on page with your team is a dangerous Odell Beckham. So if they can do that, then I wouldn't see that. Stan Jones. I hope we give Mike Trubinsky. Are you talking about Mitch Trubisky?
Yeah, that's what I would say he was trying to say. Mitchell Trubisky, another year. I think Mitchell Trubisky's already head out the door, isn't he?
Stan, are you a Bears fan? Because if you're a Bears fan, you got to be a Packers fan talking about the Bears, because that's the only reason why you would want Trubisky back in a Bears uniform. There is no way on God's green earth that you want to see that awful quarterback back in a Bears uniform. I fail to believe that. I fail to believe you are a Bears fan who wants to see Mitch Trubisky play one more season in the Bears. It's like having Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy come. Oh, wait. All right, yeah, hey, why not? Let's get Mitch.
Speaking of somebody you would love to see in a Bears uniform, Justin Herbert, quarterback, won the Rookie of the Year. Combs, you've been pretty high on Justin Herbert all.
I was high on him when they drafted him.
I believe you and Call is saying that he was going to be the Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. Should there have been any other player to win the Rookie of the Year?
The only other one that I could really argue would probably be Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson had a really nice season, 7 touchdowns, I believe 90 catches or something like that. 1,500 or 1,400 yards receiving.
I think he broke Randy Moss's record there or something.
He averaged 16 yards a catch or something crazy. Right. It was ridiculous. But to me, I mean, they got it right. I mean, he was by far the best of the rookie quarterbacks this season. The things that he did, the way he played up against the quarterbacks that he basically, everybody talks about this gauntlet that Brady ran to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Justin Herbert was running that in his first 5 games as a rookie, and
Right.
he didn't lose by more than a touchdown in any of those games versus all of those quarterbacks, including Tom Brady. So
You guys realize his first game was versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and was it 10 minutes? 10 minutes before kickoff, they're like, "Oh, by the way, you are starting because we punctured our starting."
they almost beat him.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's just it's insane to me how good Justin Herbert was.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be that good in his first season. This kid's going to be special. Good things are going to happen for the Chargers if they are smart and they build around him. And so I'm really excited for Justin Herbert. They got that award correct.
yeah, the only thing that I could maybe have an argument for is Joe Burrow a little bit, because he was having a pretty stellar year before.
He missed
Obviously
half
before
the season though, right?
Yeah, but he still threw for almost 3,000 yards, and the Bengals were not a very good team.
Yeah, but you can't give a guy
at
an
all.
award on what he might have done. I mean, what
Right.
if he
It's-
goes in those last 6 or 7 games and
Right.
he goes up against some really good defenses that shut him down? You know what I mean? Or he throws 6 or 7 or 8 more interceptions in that time frame. So
Yeah.
I don't think
That's the only argument I could possibly have had for that, is maybe Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Based off of what he
yeah.
did.
Burrow's and Justin Jefferson have cases, but I think going away it was Justin Herbert.
Do you think they always kind of default to let's say a rookie quarterback and a rookie wide receiver have outstanding years? Does it not always go to the quarterback, since they're kind of like the face?
It does seem to be a quarterback bias. I mean, every year you can tell who the MVP of the Super Bowl is going to be, unless it's
Winning
like
quarterback.
a 10-7 game or something like that. It's going to be the quarterback. This year and last year are prime examples. I mean, I didn't think that last year. I didn't think that Patrick Mahomes was the MVP, but he won it. This year, I didn't think Tom Brady was the MVP, but he won
Didn't Damian Williams win the MVP?
No, it was Patty Mahomes. They went with the
Oh.
name. Danny Williams was one of the names that I said he should have won it.
Yeah, he should have. He scored like three times that.
Yeah, but they gave it to Patty Mahomes. So I think there's definitely a quarterback bias in the league when it comes to awards, for sure. So if a quarterback is up for it against any other, you're fighting an uphill battle, and you've really got to have people start fighting for you at that point.
So speaking of uphill battle, many people say that Aaron Donald should have probably won the MVP this year, but he did win the Defensive Player of the Year award. Do you have any kind of nods that could have gone to any other player for that?
You're talking about Defensive Player of the Year?
Yep, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, no, I mean that's another one that went right to where it should have gone.
No.
Really?
Nope. TJ
Who was
Watt
better
for the
than him this year?
TJ Watt for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He beat Aaron Donald in every major stat on the defensive side of the ball, and their team was better in the end. Yes, the Rams made it further technically in the playoffs, but look what the Pittsburgh Steelers did earlier in the year. TJ Watt should have won that award, man. He is a dominant
Aaron Donald
player.
was the best player on a very dominant defense.
Okay.
And that last half of the year, there were a lot of teams that were scoring a lot of points on Pittsburgh. 13.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. I don't have a problem with him getting this award. I mean, 27 tackles as a defensive end is pretty damn good as well. So I don't have a problem with Donald. I don't know exactly what Watt's stats were. Was he the runner-up for the award?
I don't know who the runner-ups were, but basically Watt got 3 or 4 more tackles, more.
Well, right, but Watt's a
more
linebacker,
sacks.
so he actually had a lot more tackles,
He's a
but he's a
defensive end.
linebacker. No, TJ Watt's a linebacker.
I would classify him as a defensive end. He is more of a on the line type of guy.
No, he's a linebacker that'll come up and rush, but he's an outside linebacker. I mean, he had less forced fumbles than I'm looking at it now. He had less forced fumbles. He had a sack and a half more. His stuff yards were way less than Aaron Donald's. Aaron Donald had 56 stuff yards and TJ Watt had 29. I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. Look, Aaron Donald to me is the best defensive player in all of football. I think it's Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack are the 2 best defensive ends in football.
Khalil Mack has hit his prime and is over for you Bear fans.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I wouldn't disagree that he's trending. He's going to start trending downhill. The Bears have wasted his best years for sure. So that's why, again, people think that I'm crazy when I say it, but I would include him in a package for Deshaun Watson or Dak Prescott. Like, he's 29 years old, and he's been used so much because of how inept the Bears are on offense that he's been on the field so much that his body's gotten worn more than any defensive end in the league. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like who is who. It's I almost kind of seems like a baseball Hall of Fame voting like at this point. But the offensive player of the year was Derrick Henry. He did rush for over 2,000 yards. I don't have any disagreement with that whatsoever. Unless you wanted to give it to the MVP, Aaron Rodgers, but why would you give a player 2 awards at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So, I mean, obviously Aaron Rodgers won the MVP. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I said week 9, week 10, he was by far the MVP. I said the only person that I would have thought by week 9, week 10 that was close to him, I had the idea of Big Ben, but Big Ben lost his argument, once they started losing all those games towards the end of the season. So, Aaron Rodgers he's doing things as a quarterback that only he has done before. So it's really hard to argue that the Packers are anything more without him. So I have no problem with Aaron Rodgers winning the MVP, even as a Bears fan.
And then the comeback player of the year was Alex Smith. There is no question in my mind that he won the comeback player of the year.
Big Ben.
Unless some people want to give it to Big Ben.
I mean, I would. I mean, he played way more games than Alex Smith did.
Right.
He won way more games than Alex Smith did. But I get why people, it's a sentimental thing. He almost died. He almost lost his legs. He came back, and as soon as he stepped on the field, people are going to crucify me when they hear that I don't think that Alex Smith was a comeback player of the year. But I mean,
wait, hold on, timeout. You sat right here on the Man Hour and said they should name the reward after Alex Smith, saying
no, that was
yes,
Wyatt.
you did.
That was Wyatt.
Was that Wyatt? Okay.
Yeah, because I was one of those guys who always I don't just take the sentimental guy. I have to take the numbers into account. I mean, how can you say that a guy was a comeback player of the year when another guy who was coming off of injury too, whose team went 8-8, had his team at 12-0?
True. You're right.
I mean, I don't know.
You are 100% correct. But we are going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we are going to talk some more NFL. We are going to talk the most overrated teams and players in the NFL this season, and the most underrated players and teams in the NFL as well. Coming up here on the Man Hour, guys, right after the break. Be sure to jump up in the comments. Let us know, guys, what you want to talk about. We do have Shop Top coming up here in roughly about a half hour. So anything you want to discuss, let us know, and like in the comments, and we will be talking about it. So, guys, stay tuned right here on the Man Hour. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeister here, along with Brandon Combs as well. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can check us out on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. When you download that podcast, be sure to leave us a ranking as well. It helps the show grow each and every day. Also, guys, if you are watching us at youtube.com/Man Hour right now, we are live there every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. East Coast time. We are doing a loyalty giveaway at the end of the week. So the more loyalty points you have, you will win the prize at the end of the week. And right now the loyalty gambling session is going on right now. There's some high rollers over there. So basically how you guys gain loyalty points is you sit here and you watch the show, you comment, you get points for comments, you get points for shares, you get for watch time, and then obviously you can gamble those points to double your chances as well. Combs, were you going to say something? Sorry, I cut you off there. Oh, okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
My bad.
Jameson checks in on the chat line, says Henry should have won the MVP.
So usually what the MVP comes down to in the NFL, it is the best player on the best team, right? So technically it probably should have went to Tom Brady and the Bucs. Like, let's be honest, they were playing the best football the last week of the last half of the season. They were 7-0 the last 7 games, and obviously ran the gauntlet in the playoffs. But obviously it's voted at the end of the season. But did Derrick Henry put you? Does Derrick Henry put you in a position to win the Super Bowl? I think Aaron Rodgers put you in the position to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and not only that, but I mean, again, Aaron Rodgers did again something that only he has done twice before, and he just did it for the third time with 40 plus touchdowns and 5 or less interceptions. It's only been done twice before, and both times were by Aaron Rodgers. Like, when you have a guy doing that, and your team is 13-3, and they're in the NFC Championship game, I mean, it's hard to bet against that. I know people come back and say, well, playoffs aren't supposed to matter when it comes into this stuff, but
I mean, which it doesn't. The MVP is voted before the playoff starts. So
yeah, Tori says the Tennessee game sealed the MVP when it was Packers versus Tennessee, and Packers steamrolled them.
Yeah, like, let's go ahead and subtract here a tad bit. I'm not taking anything away from Derrick Henry's season. A feat of 2,000 yards is incredible, but also what Aaron Rodgers is more incredible. So what incredible are you going to lean to? Something that 8 players have done, or something that 1 player has done, right? So. And
Jameson comes back and says 13-3, back-to-back years, nothing to show for it. Coming back at Tory with with his Green Bay Packers, and look, I get it. Aaron Rodgers, he loses NFC Championship games. That's what Aaron Rodgers does.
Donovan McNabb lost 4 in a row, right?
I have no doubt that the Packers lose NFC Championship games, and I love every bit of it. But Aaron Rodgers was the MVP. I mean, I'm sorry, Jameson, and I hate saying it as a Bears fan. I really do.
Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers was the best player in the NFL this year.
I think the only other person you could have possibly given the nod to was Patrick Mahomes. I know I sound like a homer, but Patrick Mahomes had a damn good season too.
Jameson, I've said this before too. I say this to Wyatt a lot. Green Bay wasted Rodgers and Favre. 2 Super Bowl appearances for those 2 quarterbacks is absolutely ridiculous. They did not build around Rodgers. They did not build around Favre. They did not do the things that they needed to do. I would argue with you that they built more around Favre than they did with Aaron Rodgers, because Favre had some weapons, but they just, I would be embarrassed as a Packers fan, to be honest with you. And that's not just me saying it as a Bears fan. I would be embarrassed with those 2 quarterbacks, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, 2 of the best quarterbacks of all time, and you've got 2 Super Bowl appearances to show for it.
Well, and that also is kind of like a black guy on the media that was kinging Aaron Rodgers in the first 3 or 4 years of his career, because he went to the Super Bowl his 3rd year or fourth year starting, if I'm not mistaken, and like they were saying the same thing they're saying about Patrick Mahomes. Like, how many is this guy going to win? 5, 6, 7, 8. So, mean, hopefully that curse doesn't come on Patrick Mahomes as a Chiefs fan. But I mean, are we kind of to blame for that hype? I mean, shit, I don't know, man.
I mean, you can be, but look, when somebody excites you when they're playing, when somebody's as good as they are, I mean, it's deserved, isn't it? I mean, it's not.
I agree.
It's not us just hyping them up just because we're like, it's not like me sitting here and saying, dude, this guy Mitchell Trubisky, this kid, if he could just get this or if he could just get that, he's so much fun to watch. I love watching this kid play football. I love it. And you watch him play, and then you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not what we're doing with these other guys. It's just when somebody excites you watching them play, I get excited watching a guy like Deshaun Watson play. Patrick Mahomes, I love watching that kid play ball.
Mm-hmm.
Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, I love watching that guy play ball. And so I just, I never apologize for pumping somebody up. Somebody just won. Torrey Anderson just won 360 million loyalty points.
There you go. I mean, he is running away with that loyalty tonight, isn't he?
Holy mother of God.
You guys are gambling like crazy in there, guys, and just definitely keep it coming. Like all the comments helps over there in the YouTube channel, so youtube.com/ManHour. Also hit that like button as well.
Junior
you get some
just
more
lost
points for that.
119 million, 19 million loyalty points. Junior just lost. He
So
probably took it off and went to bed.
Speaking of losing, there are always those overrated teams in the NFL. The teams that you have so much expectations for going into the NFL season. So let's look back on the 2020 season. Combs, in your eyes, who was the most overrated team in the 2020 season this year?
Man, I would, and we just talked about these guys a lot. I would say the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are a one-man show. I mean, A.J. Brown gets you excited because A.J. Brown can do some phenomenal things.
Ryan
But
Tannehill's coming around too.
Nah, he's not that guy. I mean, he's just not.
I would say he's better than Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz is a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Stop it. Don't even get me going on that crap again. Carson Wentz is not a top 10 freaking. Oh God.
He's number 10 right now. Tannehill's number 9.
But no, I think Tennessee was overhyped. I think the Dolphins were a little overhyped. I think they just played out of their minds this year. And let me see about an NFC team. God, I would say the Rams. I think the Rams were overhyped. Now they get a different look heading into next season with Matthew Stafford. I've heard some talk. I've heard some people on the mothership talking about how Matthew Stafford makes him a Super Bowl contender. I think it was Mike Greenberg who picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl next year.
Way too early. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's getting ready to happen. Draft, free agency.
Yeah,
so.
That free agent. I mean, there's so many quarterbacks that still need to land in spots, and there are a couple teams that if they get a really good quarterback, they're going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I would say that those three teams are probably the most overhyped of this season.
One of the most overhyped teams for me, and like I sat here and said it, and I thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to be a damn good team this year. I mean, I think I had them going 12-4, running away with the NFC East. And yes, I know Dak Prescott got hurt week 5 or week 6 or whatever it was, but they did not look like a very good football team at any point in the season whatsoever. So like I definitely have to fall on the Dallas Cowboys as the most overhyped team, just because like look at all the talent they have on the paper. They have arguably a top 5 wide receiver core in all of NFL from number 1 to number 4. Their tight ends were pretty damn good. Their offensive line was top 10. The only weakness of that team was the secondary on the defensive side. And so on paper they should have been damn good, and they were just not that good. because a good team, even with a backup quarterback, should have at least went 8-8, right? So the Dallas Cowboys are probably one of the most overrated teams this year in the NFL, 100%.
Most underrated? God. I would say, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong because of the injuries that they dealt with. I think that another team that people are sleeping on is going to be the Chargers. Another team is the Raiders. And I really feel like this offseason is going to be a good one for Cincinnati Bengals fans. I've said this before. I think that the Bengals are going to come back and have a big year next year. I really do. I really like Joe Burrow. I don't know how much of the season he's going to miss yet. Probably at least the first, 6 games, I would assume. But I really like the makeup of what the Bengals are doing under Joe Burrow, and I really hope that they're going to do right by this kid and build underneath him. And so I would say that those teams are probably the most exciting to watch. The Cowboys are going to be really good. I just don't know that. I don't think Dak's going to be there. I really don't. I mean, it started with that hype video today. Up until that hype video came out, I was like, yeah, Dak probably stays in Dallas. Once that hype video came out, I was like, wow, maybe Dak's on the move. And if Dak's on the move, all bets are off, because this is going to be probably the craziest offseason in NFL history. With the names that are moving at the quarterback position, this is going to be insane. And if the Cowboys lose Dak and they don't replace him with somebody equivalent to Dak, so meaning Deshaun Watson,
Andy Dalton's just fun.
The
Cowboys will be perfectly fine with a full offseason
they
underneath
will
Andy
not.
Dalton.
Andy
They'll be
Dalton
perfectly
is
fine.
not a good quarterback.
He is.
He's not. He was not good in Cincinnati. He had weapons in Cincinnati.
Who he had? AJ Green.
He had AJ Green. He had Boyd. He had can't even remember what the hell the name of the running back is that they had over there. But they had weapons. They had teams in Cincinnati. Marvin Lewis was taking them to playoffs. And look, Andy Dalton is not the guy. He's just not.
Do you want a staple of mediocre? Like, you can look up mediocre in the dictionary, and Marvin Lewis' name is going to be there. He was perfectly happy going 8-8 and sneaking into the playoffs just so he could keep his job. Like,
if you look up underwhelming in the dictionary, you're going to see Andy Dalton.
Whatever, man. Yeah,
I'm just telling. Andy Dalton's not a good quarterback. He's the redheaded version of Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, but if Andy Dalton is named starter for the Dallas Cowboys this offseason and he comes in practicing like a starter with the number ones, the Cowboys go to the playoffs and win a playoff game with Andy Dalton.
They're 6-10 again at best.
No way. No way.
Yes.
So, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we are going to switch up the lineup here like a little bit, and we're going to start Shop Talk early. So if you guys want to talk about anything whatsoever, let us know in the comments. You guys can take a break from gambling at any point.
I was going to say, these guys are at the casino right now, man. I don't think we're getting them back.
They all have the ding dings going on, right? But we do have Shop Talk coming up, and we do have some topics that some fans have submitted earlier in the night. So we will be discussing those. So guys, stay tuned right here on the Man Hour. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeiser along with Brandon Combs here. Let me get that overlay off here. You guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can go to youtube.com/Man Hour, hit that subscribe button as we do upload the clips each and every day. So if you want to watch a certain part of the show, look for the clickbait title, click on it, bada bing, bada boom, it is there. Just like when I smashed Combs about how trash Lamar Jackson is. So if you guys are interested of how trash Lamar Jackson actually is, just go ahead and look for Lamar Jackson is trash. Like that has been a trending video.
That's the same guy who just talked up Andy Dalton.
Hey, you know what?
Andy
Dalton, when Andy Dalton leads the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, you will understand why, Combs. You will definitely understand why. So, Combs, it is time for Shop Talk here. So Shop Talk is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy, guys. So if you head over to thrivefantasy.com and use promo code MANHOUR, they will match up to $50 on your first deposit. You can also download on iOS or Android devices as well. That is thrivefantasy.com. So be sure to check them out.
Torrey Anderson just won 1 billion points.
Oh man, he needs to go to the casino. I mean, or like, I need to figure out how to turn down those odds because I have not won 1 point over there gambling tonight. So earlier tonight we posted a post in one of our Facebook groups. It is the Man Hour Sports Talk Facebook group, and then we had a fan come at us in the inbox and ask Combs personally, and she wants to know what your take is, Combs. Is so she basically says I am interested in knowing what Combs' take is on the Major League Baseball wanting to change up the materials or makings of the baseball for the future. Combs, we kind of talked about this pre-show. So
yeah.
First things first, tell us what they're trying to implement in Major League Baseball.
So they're trying to center the ball within the specification of what MLB has for the weight and the size of a ball. The result, I'm reading it right here. The result, a ball weighed 2.8 grams less and had slightly reduced bounciness that was on average more in the middle. So what they did was they reduced the weight by 2.8 grams of the ball to make it less springy from the cork in the ball. So I don't have a problem with it. People talk about juiced balls and this and that, dead ball era, juice ball era, steroid era, this and that. Whatever baseball needs to do to make it a more competitive, more compelling game, I'm all for it. I don't have a problem with it. I like the long ball. I like watching home runs. I like watching bat flips. Right? Yeah, it's all good, but I like seeing it. But if the ball was altered to make it more lively for more home runs, like they were accused of by, I believe it was Justin Verlander a few years back, who actually accused baseball of juicing the ball so that they would get more home runs. I think he was just leaving too many of them out over the plate, and he got upset about it. But at any rate, I think that if they were juicing the balls, I think that that's more of a problem than it is doctoring it down so that they don't hit as many home runs.
Yeah, so my problem with it is you are basically changing the whole outcome of the sport at this point. Just because Combs, you said there were 6,200 home runs last year or something like that, or a couple years ago.
No, there were almost 7,000 home runs.
Yeah, honestly, we live in an era where athletes are bigger, they're faster, they are stronger. So there are players that literally go in between at bats. They go to the locker room to watch film of them swinging the bat and hitting. That is just the age that we are living in, and pitchers need to get a little bit better. Yeah, they need to get better. Well, they need to hit their spots better. And the umpires
hitters need to get better, because I'm sick of seeing these guys who hit 60 home runs but bat 232 get these 10-year contracts.
That is the era that we live in.
Learning how to hit the ball. All right, so learn how to hit the ball to other fields instead of just hitting home runs. If all you can do is hit home runs, you're not a hitter. Like,
Really?
This isn't. Yes. If all you
I
can
would
do,
rather have 60 home runs and bat your 230, and then rather you bat 360 and you be stranded on base over and over and over again. Get those runs in. Runs win games, Combs, not base hits.
Buck,
Come on now.
You have to understand the game before you start talking about the game, okay?
I do
You sound
understand the
silly
game.
right now.
And
there is
like,
no
I
way that
love
you
the
want
small
a
ball.
guy who you want to. So you would rather have 9 Aaron Judges or 9 Giancarlo Stantons on your team
Yeah.
instead of 9 Ben Zobrists.
You know what that tells? That tells me I am guaranteed to at least get 2 runs a game.
Yeah, and you're also
How
guaranteed
many
to strike out 29 to 30 times a game.
Okay.
And my guys are going to have the bases loaded probably, I don't know, 5-6 times a game. They're going to beat you 4-2 every damn game.
No, they're not. They are. They're going to have the bases loaded, and they're going to
No.
ground. They're going to hit a little blooper to a second base for a 6-4-3 double play.
Okay.
Come on,
All right. You're wrong.
like how? So
Because
where's Hoffy at? Hoffy will agree with me.
No, he won't. Because Giancarlo Stanton or Aaron Judge, those guys are striking out 300 times a season. You look at guys like Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds never struck out 100 times in a season except for his rookie year. These guys are striking out 300 times in a season. This is ridiculous. These guys are not hitters.
The reason why that is because we live in a world of analytics. Look what the Green Bay Packers did on 4th and 3. They kick a field goal to give Tom Brady the ball to ice the game, right? We live in a world of analytics. So the analytics are telling these managers or coaches, whatever you want to refer to them, telling the players like, hey, we have a better opportunity of winning the game if you swing for the fence every time. Don't swing for base hits.
You
that
do not
is the
have
difference.
a better chance of hit. This is not the NBA. Just because you're shooting more threes, that's a totally different game. Major League Baseball, you are not going to win more games by hitting more home runs and striking out more. It's just not going to happen. And that's why teams like the New York Yankees do not succeed in October, because they are built on the long ball, and then in October, they are getting outpitched. That's because they can't hit. They get lucky 23% of the time and hit one over the fence. But when they hit one over the fence, nobody's on base for them.
Combs, I'm telling you, the numbers and the analytics that these people live by right now is saying that the long ball is better than the short ball. That is why the players
analytics are wrong and the analytics are retarded. And if you don't believe that, ask Blake Snell.
So let me refer to you this. Like, I agree with you 100%. I do not like the analytics whatsoever. I am an eye test guy, but I am on the opposite side of the fence just to be just a state of like argument here. But the analytics tell you that you want a 60 home run guy batting 230 versus a 340 guy with 10 home runs. The analytics lean to more home runs.
We can argue this till you're blue in the face, but I mean, you are wrong. I would rather have 9 guys that hit 280 and hit situational and play situational baseball than a guy that just goes up there swinging for the fence and strikes out, 7 times out of 10. Like, that's just not. I don't want that. I don't want a guy who is just going up there swinging for the fence, because if you have 9 of those guys, you are playing 1 run at a time.
So let me ask you this question. You are a baseball guy. You watch 1,000 games a summer, right?
At least, yes.
Who are the power hitters, the power teams over the last couple years? Like a team full of power hitters. New York Yankees.
The New York Yankees. You're talking about the God. Let me give me 1 second. Here.
Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Because where I'm trying to go with this is what of those power hitter, the power hitter teams, how many of them have won a World Series in the last 10 years?
None of them. Let's go back over the last few world champions. All right, so we'll go to last year with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Los Angeles Dodgers are not based solely off of the long ball. The Los Angeles Dodgers have a team full of hitters. The year before that, you had the Washington Nationals. Same thing, a team full of hitters. 2018, Was that the Houston won 17. Who won it in 18?
So
I can't remember.
basically,
but over the last 10 years, none of these teams are winning World Series. The Yankees haven't won one since 2009.
but I'm trying to say though, but like think of like these small ball teams. The couple small ball teams that I can think of are the Kansas City Royals, like my Kansas City Royals, like obviously, and like I would say the Houston Astros was like a small ball team as well.
Yeah, they
but
won
like,
one. The Cubs, when they won in 2016, was a small ball team. The Red Sox were the team that won it in 18. They were a small ball team. The San Francisco Giants were a small ball team. The Red Sox again in 13 was a small ball team. The Giants in 2012. Like there has since the 2009 Yankees, there has not been a team that has won the World Series that has been a strictly power hitting team.
But all those teams that you named had a big power hitter, right? The Royals and the Astros were the only ones that didn't have a big power hitter.
The Cubs. Who was the Cubs' big power hitter?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, like the Cubs as well, because you guys stole Zobrist from us and won the World Series.
Okay, the Red Sox. Who was the Red Sox big power hitter in 2018?
I don't know.
I mean, are you talking about like you could talk about they had what's his face there, the first baseman
David Ortiz?
God, no. I can't remember his name. JD Martinez.
Okay.
So that was probably their big power hitter, but he was a DH, and he still, I believe JD Martinez, if I'm not mistaken, that year hit like 280 something.
Yeah, as Tori Anderson does, says JD Martinez. So you like but like at the end of the day, the analytics tell you one way or the other. But like just like that, like we can talk about this like all night, blue in the face, and we're not going to gain any ground whatsoever. But with that being said, has Major League Baseball ever come out and like changed the ball before, like, you know, like openly saying, hey, we are going to change the ball?
They've never openly said it, and I agree with Tori Anderson here. Ask Bryce Harper how hitting 232 and 40 bombs has worked out. As soon as the Nationals got rid of him, they won the World Series.
Yeah, well, that's because the analytics say you need 60, right?
Yeah. So I don't think that I don't think that baseball has ever come out and said, hey, we've actually doctored the balls. And when they were accused of it a couple years ago, they vehemently denied it. But this year, I think that coming out and saying it, I think because they already know people are going to see less home runs, they're already going to suspect something. So they're jumping ahead of the game here. So I don't have any problem with that. Penelope chimes in and says, do you think we're going to actually be able to see a game this summer? I do. Our price is going to be too expensive if we can go. I don't believe so. I think that with the reduction in amount of fans that can go at the beginning of the season, they're actually going to reduce the cost. I think that you're going to see tickets be more affordable because of the situation that they're in, and these owners need to make money. And I think that they realize the situation that they're in. And I think finally we're at a point where owners are like, you know what, some money is better than no money. And so I think we're definitely going to get to games. By hook or by crook, I will be at Wrigley watching a game this year. I don't care if I'm sitting across the street in the apartments.
Right.
Like I will be at Wrigley watching a game this year. And so I don't think that'll be too expensive. I definitely don't think they're raising the cost. If anything, it'll be just as expensive as it was before.
How much are tickets at like in Chicago? Because like I know in Kansas City, you can go to a baseball game, any Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday game. You can get, you know, upper deck seats for like $5.
Yeah, because nobody goes, so they're trying to give them away.
Right.
And I would Kansas City. I've been there once.
I love Kauffman Stadium.
I would love to go again. I haven't been there since they redid it. I went when it was old. Kauffman Stadium. It was
road trip this summer, man. I need to go see my mama anyways. I miss my mama.
I'm definitely down. But Wrigley is, I think it's like, $40 for bleacher seats. I mean, obviously the big seats behind the dugout, I mean, are going to cost you a pretty penny, but the cheap seats, to me, the bleachers are the best seats in the house anyway. I mean, if you're going to go there, unless you're bringing your kids, don't bring your kids and sit in the bleachers, people. Do not bring your kids to sit in the bleachers. It will not be a good time for you.
So let me ask you this, if I can address the Miss Smith over there in the chat. Like, what do you consider a expensive ticket? Because I remember last week during Shop Talk, she brought up the NFL ticket prices, and they're $200 to $500. So, I mean, like, what do you consider a expensive ticket there, Mrs. Smith? So
yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I'm a baseball guy, so I'll pay. Yeah. Tori Anderson says he wants to go to Wrigley and leave an upper decker in my bathroom. Dick.
Jokes on you. Most toilets now are tankless, so good luck with that.
Yeah.
And as Drew says, we better pick him up on the way to KC. Aren't you in Omaha? So that is like, I'm not driving past Kansas City to go to Omaha to bring you back. You can just meet us at Kauffman Stadium, Drew.
Yeah, absolutely. Was worried they would be $100 or more. It depends on where you're going. Like,
right.
I mean, and where you want to sit. You can get really good seats in most stadiums. Even upper deck seats. I remember going to Citi Field a couple years back and watching the Cubs play the Mets, and I sat in the upper deck for $15 a ticket. And if you wanted to say, I believe a couple years before that, I believe we paid $160 a ticket, and I was sitting 3 rows behind the dugout.
Yeah, and like one of the greatest things that I like to do, like when I lived back home in Kansas City area, and like I could just ride the train down to the stadium, was like I would buy a Friday, Saturday, Sunday ticket, and like you could buy all 3 of those tickets for like $120, and like they were lower level on the visiting team's dugout side. So
yeah.
I mean, you get 3 games for basically a price of 1, like in the end.
Tip is in here, says Dak Prescott gets traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars for Trevor Lawrence. Wow.
So hang on. For the people that are listening to us on podcast form, let's go ahead and read that whole comment out, because he doesn't say wow, he continues to go on. He says Dak Prescott gets traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars for Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 pick. There will be other compensations, but his trade could work for both teams. There is no way the Jacksonville Jaguars are giving the number 1 overall pick for a hurt quarterback, a quarterback that you do not know what's going to happen whatsoever.
That's interesting to me, man. And the reason why that one's interesting to me is because that could work. And that could work in everybody's favor except for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, because I think Trevor Lawrence is a bust. Anyway, I don't hate that idea.
I hate the idea because then you don't have any playmakers around Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott with playmakers couldn't even lead the Dallas Cowboys to the playoffs. What is he going to do with nobody?
He was on his way to leaving them in the playoffs.
Come on,
If Wentz goes to the Bears, he'll be in just as bad of a situation or worse than he was with the Eagles. I don't disagree there.
I think any quarterback.
If Wentz goes to the Bears, the Bears are in just as bad of a situation as they were with Mitch Trubisky. So, I think it's a catch-22. I don't like Wentz to the Bears. Kyle Kelly chimes in and says both teams are trash. Which,
as in the Cowboys and the
Bears
Jaguars,
and the Cowboys, or the Cowboys and the Jags. The Cowboys are not trash. The Cowboys have pieces. And the Cowboys were on their way to winning that division, hands down, going away until the Dak Prescott injury.
You know what the Cowboys are missing?
The Cowboys were good.
You want to know what the Cowboys are really missing, Combs?
What?
They are missing a owner that comes on the field, that doesn't stay in the owner box. Jerry Jones needs to simply stay in the owner box and own
I
the
agree.
Team.
So he's the worst owner in sports.
I do know that Stephen Jones, his son, is a general manager, and he has been kind of shoving Jerry off to the side like a tad bit. But Jerry Jones has his hand in there, right? So.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure. Tori Anderson. Okay, I broke this game. Just scored 160 billion point. I'm done. Tory wins. Just give it. It's Tuesday. Tory wins.
Yeah, for you guys that don't know what is going on, over there on the YouTube page, youtube.com/manhour, we are giving away a gift at the end of the week. You have to earn loyalty points by watching, commenting, sharing this, and liking the feed, and then you can gamble those points as well. So
whoa, Kyle Kelly. Jags and Cowboys. Let me start with the Cowboys, man. The Cowboys. Y'all are the same people who said the Chiefs were going to beat Tom Brady, laughing my ass off. Come on now. First of all, Kyle Kelly, I picked the Buccaneers. I picked the Buccaneers to win 38-35. I thought it was going to be a close game, but
score was
the
a tad
Buccaneers
off, but you
defense
definitely picked the Bucs to win.
Yeah. And so I did not pick the Chiefs to win. And the Cowboys, again, Kyle Kelly, Dak Prescott got hurt. And after he got hurt for 4 weeks, he led the league in passing. For 4 weeks while he was not playing. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how much more to say.
Now, to say that the Cowboys would have, in return, kept that momentum going as far as the offense production-wise, maybe. Who knows? Usually you start to come back down to reality at some point as the defense starts to learn your system and that kind of thing. But Combs, on the flip side of that, the Cowboys weren't winning those games either. Dak Prescott had to throw that many passes to basically even have a chance to win the game. Well, yeah,
because the defense was giving up a ton of points. I mean, the defense was atrocious at the beginning of the season. So they were losing games, but they were losing 35-33, 30. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't. They weren't losing, and getting blown out.
Right.
They were balling out. Dak Prescott was doing his thing. They were looking like they were.
I don't remember the scores off of the top of my head, but there were some games when they were like leading and the defense kind of gave it away toward the end. They had to come back and try to battle, right? Like the Rams, for example, they should have probably beat the Rams.
20-17 to the Rams. Then they won 40-39 versus the Falcons. They had to score 40 points. They lost 38-31, 49-38, 37-34. They won. Then they lost. They got blown out. That was when he got hurt. Was the Cardinals game, correct?
What game did he get hurt? No, Andy Dalton was the first game that he played the Cardinals, so it had to been the Rams game. I think he got hurt, maybe.
No, the Rams was the first game of the season. It must have been the Giants game because they won that game.
Yeah, because I believe so. Because like I sat here on the Man Hour and said that Andy Dalton would be started by week 4.
So then Dak Prescott goes down. Yeah. They lose 38-10. They lose 25-3. They lose 23-9. So they were scoring 30-plus points a game with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott goes down. They're scoring, 10, 3, 9, 19, 28, 16, 17, 7. Like, they don't even break 30 points in that exact time. And this is with who at the helm?
The
Dak Prescott,
Super Bowl champion quarterback
Dalton,
next
correct?
year for the Dallas Cowboys.
Andy Dalton, yeah. That's the guy who you said is going to do good.
Actually, one quarterback that we kind of skimmed over here a little bit for the Cowboys was the DiNucci guy. What was he like? He's like 6'6", 230, right? And then he came in the week that Andy Dalton got the concussion, and he looked like a damn good quarterback too. So the Cowboys are in a pretty good situation.
That was against the Vikings, and that was the one week that they broke 30 points.
Yeah,
after Dak Prescott went down.
Right, but so like. Going back to that Jacksonville Jaguars trade, first things first is the Cowboys have to sign Dak Prescott because he did sign the franchise tag last year, so he does not have a contract still, and they are probably going to lean more toward the franchise tag this year as well, kind of like a prove it league, right? So
nobody's acting like the NFC East is anything special, Kyle Kelly. You're right. It wasn't hard to win the NFC East this year. Nobody said the NFC East was horrible this year.
The only reason why they were horrible because Dak Prescott got hurt.
Injury or no injury, at some point you put your money on someone who is reliable. Who's been more reliable than Dak Prescott? Because he got hurt. His ankle was hanging off of his body.
I think this year was the first game that he missed in his NFL career. If you want to talk about reliability issues, talk about Carson Wentz. When's the last time he has played a full season?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I mean, I don't know. I just think that I think people outside, Kyle Kelly's a Green Bay Packers fan, so he hates the Cowboys. Unlike Mike LeBlanc, who loves the Cowboys and loves the Packers somehow. I don't
Speaking
even know
of
how
which,
that works.
This guy sent us a video, like we have a chat group, right? And he sent us a video on the Super Bowl, and he was wearing a freaking Aaron Rodgers jersey as a Cowboys fan during the Super Bowl. Like, why are you wearing an Aaron Rodgers jersey during the Super Bowl?
He's lost in the sauce.
Come on, man.
He's lost in the sauce. And Kyle, I really don't know how to respond to you, because there is no way you can look at Dak Prescott, look at his numbers. There's no way you can look at Zeke Elliott, look at his numbers. You cannot look at this Dallas Cowboys team with all the talent that they have at wide receiver. They are a good football team. And barring injury to their star quarterback, that team probably goes 10-6, 11-5, and wins that division going away, and is a real danger in the playoffs.
Well, so back to my point where I believe it was Thanksgiving when I was back home, when we were kind of talking about the NFC least, right, as people were saying it,
and the Cowboys winning it, and going to
I had the Cowboys win. Well, no, actually, I had the winner of the NFC East winning a playoff game, and I was not expecting Washington. I wasn't expecting Washington to make it. I think at the time it was between the Cowboys and the Eagles. They were going back and forth, and then the Redskins obviously got hot, or the football team got hot. So, but you guys realize that any given Sunday, any football team can beat anybody. Look at the New York Jets. They went into Seattle, and they beat Seattle, right? Yep. Was that their first win of the season? So this is why the NFL is the greatest sport out there. As far as the professional ranks from top to bottom, because literally anybody can win any given week. So speaking of the Seattle Seahawks, I did see something way earlier in the chat. I believe Torrey Anderson brought it up, and he said Russell Wilson trade value. And I was kind of looking at him weird. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I did a quick little Google search, and apparently Russell Wilson is not happy in Seattle, and he is kind of wanting to test the market.
Just another name on the carousel.
Yeah. So what is the trade value for a player like him? Because we said Dak Prescott, I believe it was Jameson said 2 first rounds and 3 second rounds for Dak, and then Watson was 3 first rounds, right? So what about this? What about him? What is the trade value for a quarterback like the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson?
It's less than Deshaun Watson and Dak Prescott. He's older, and he's starting to decline, and we see it year after year with him. He starts out hot, and then he just kind of goes away. So I would say probably I would say you're definitely getting a first round and maybe 2/3, maybe a first, a third, and a fourth, something in that ballpark. But that's about it.
Wow. I mean, so you are going to tell me that a proven winner, a Super Bowl winner, I believe he has 2 Super Bowls, right? Has less value than a Deshaun Watson or a Dak Prescott?
Because Deshaun Watson stays consistent. Deshaun Watson, even though they're not winning games in Houston right now, that's not on Deshaun Watson. The guy had a QBR of over 102 this year.
Right.
The kid plays ball. Russell Wilson has weapons. Russell Wilson has a really good defense. Russell Wilson is definitely not on that level. I mean, he won a Super Bowl, but how many years ago was that?
I believe it was 2016, maybe. I'm not for sure. Maybe no. I think they beat Peyton Manning, so 2014, maybe. So what's that? 6 years ago.
Yeah. And right. I mean, he's heading into his 10th year in the league. I mean, he's not getting younger.
Yeah, but no.
Deshaun Watson's what, 25?
Yeah, this is his 4th year in the league, so he's 23, 24, 25, somewhere right around that age. But so I see what you're saying, but we are also seeing quarterbacks play until they're 40. We have Drew Brees, Big Ben, Tom Brady.
Go to bed.
Come on, what does Kyle Kelly say over here in the comment section?
Russell Wilson is in no way less than Watson. Watson might be younger, but Russell Wilson is definitely more championship ready than Watson.
Yeah, and I've also seen that same exact comment over here on the YouTube page. Like I believe Jameson said it. Like he says that there's no way it is less than Dak. He's probably 3 first-round picks.
No, there is no way you are doing. Russell Wilson, he is very, very good weeks 1 through 6. And then after that, over the last 3 seasons, he
MVP,
disappears.
Right?
Yeah, and then after that, he disappears. He does it year after year after year. Like, I mean.
So let me ask you this:
tell you, they weren't even in the playoffs this year, and they started out. Didn't they start out like 6-0?
I believe they were one of the undefeated teams going 7-0. Yes. Who they lost to, I couldn't tell you. It was probably the 49ers or the Rams because it was a division game, if I'm not mistaken. But with that being said, are you telling me you do not want? So you are a Chicago or no? Not Chicago. So you are the Indianapolis.
Would I take Russell Wilson in Chicago? Yes.
over Dak and over Deshaun.
Yeah.
So you are telling me you would rather take him over those two guys and Indianapolis, but he has less
wrong.
trade
They didn't make
value.
the playoffs, and they won their division at 12-4. They lost in the playoffs to the Rams.
Right. But so you are telling me that you would rather have Russell Wilson in Indy over Deshaun Watson and Dak Prescott, but he has lower trade value than both those guys. How is that possible?
For one, Dak and Watson are younger. For two, Dak and Watson are more consistent right now than Russell Wilson is. Dak and Watson will lead your team over the next 10 years. Russell Wilson has maybe 4 or 5 years left in him, maybe. And he's declining as he goes. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, I don't know what people are, talking about as far as they think that Russell Wilson is worth more than that. The name Russell Wilson might be more than the name Dak Watson and Deshaun Watson, but it's not. He's not better on the field right now than Dak and Deshaun. He's just not.
So a follow-up question to that is that you like you said the last six years Russell Wilson has great first 8 weeks of the season, and I agree. MVP caliber the first 8 weeks of the season, but then he declines toward the end of the season. Is that Russell, or is that rest of the league catching up? So he starts
Russell.
fast.
He starts throwing a ton of interceptions. Like he starts doing things that
let me
out
finish
of
the
character.
question. Is it the coaching putting them in bad spots to put him out of character?
No, it's because once he gets out of the pocket and breaks containment, he's making bad decisions, throwing across his body, throwing across the field. Like Russell Wilson, self-destructs every year in the second half of the season, every year. And Hoffy here says, what's the trade scenario between Seattle and Houston for swapping quarterbacks? That's a great question right now. If I am Houston and you're going to give me Russell Wilson for Deshaun Watson, I'm still asking you for at least a first round and a third round draft pick to go along with that.
So the only reason why Houston will be asking for that is because they have nobody in that team whatsoever. They have no receivers. They have no defense. They don't even have a coach that wants to coach
I don't care
there. So they're trying to get.
If they had everything that they needed. That is what Deshaun Watson is worth.
There is, I see all these quarterbacks saying, or people in the chat and on the radio and podcast saying that all these guys are worth 3 first round picks. There is no quarterback worth 3 first round picks.
Really? Because
there is no quarterback.
Detroit Lions just told you Matthew Stafford was worth 2.
I don't know. That was stupid.
You know what
stupid.
I mean?
Yeah,
but you can't. You have to go by. It's just like anything in free agency. You go by what the market value says that you are. That's what your asking price is. If the market value says that Matthew Stafford is worth 2 first round, that's why that Matthew Stafford trade vaulted. Matthew Stafford got what everybody was talking about. Deshaun Watson getting at first, and then as soon as Matthew Stafford got that, Deshaun Watson's value doubled.
The only reason why the Lions got that out of Jared Goff or for Matthew Stafford is they wanted to dump Jared Goff. They were tired of paying his $120 million contract. They were tired of him being a little cry baby. They were ready for him to move on.
Kyle Kelly is just on the wrong train today. There are a lot of quarterbacks that are worth 3 first-round picks. I would give you 3 first-round picks right now for Tom Brady. I would give you 3 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers. I would give you 3 first-round picks for Patty Mahomes. I would give you 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson.
Nope. Do you know why everything is nope? Because you are taking away 3 chances of finding that next quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, like Tom Brady, like Patrick Mahomes in the draft. So if I do not have a first round pick for the next 3 years, I can miss on a player like Kyle Trask. I can miss on a player like the kid from BYU. I always forget his name. Or even Mac Jones. I mean, like,
money-wise right now, a Super Bowl is worth, in the next 3 years, a Super Bowl is worth a couple of first-round draft picks, correct? To get your team to a Super Bowl, is that worth 2 first-round draft picks? And you're getting to you have a chance to get to a Super Bowl if Tom Brady is your quarterback. You have a chance to get to a Super Bowl if Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. If Patty Mahomes is your quarterback, Deshaun Watson.
You only have a chance of getting to the Super Bowl with Tom Brady if they have a loaded team around him.
Well, none of these teams that have less than that, with the exception of maybe the Jets, are going to give up more than that for a quarterback right now because they will draft one instead.
So
the teams that are going to give up big are the teams that are quarterback away, like the Chicago Bears, like the Indianapolis Colts, like
the Bears are not a quarterback away. Come on, think logic.
How are they not?
They've got
a really solid wide receiver core. Of course,
they have one receiver
get Allen
core.
Robinson back.
They have one guy.
No, they've got a really good wide receiver core. They've got a really good tight end. They've got a really good running back. They need a quarterback. They need somebody who is smart enough to get rid of the ball. They need somebody who is smart enough to throw the ball away instead of take a sack or throw an interception. That's what the Bears need. I've said this for 3 years now. Nobody listens to me. Yes, they are a quarterback away. They were 6-0 this season.
You're right.
Or I'm sorry, 4-0 this season.
Right.
And then they went to 5-1 this season. They're a quarterback away. The quarterback play is what cost them this season.
The quarterback play is not what cost them. It's the bad play calling to put their quarterbacks in a bad position.
That was part of it too. But we rehired that idiot already. So I don't know. Yeah. Like, there's nothing you could do. You need a quarterback.
So let's go ahead and address some more of these YouTube comments over here. Jameson says, if Stafford is worth 2, then Wilson is worth 3. Watson is worth 4. I guess that the market dictates that, but I'm not going to pay that if I'm an owner or a general manager.
If you're a quarterback away, so if you are the Indianapolis Colts right now, you wouldn't give up you wouldn't give up your next 4 first-round draft picks for a quarterback. You are set at every position.
I might be set at every position, but you all. So the point of the draft is to build for the future. And if I don't have any draft picks because I wasted them all on one guy that could, be a play away for never playing it down again, I pissed away my loaded team for the next 5 years.
I disagree. I mean, the quarterback is the most important position on the field, and I mean, I don't know. I disagree.
The quarterback is the most important position on the field, and then Combs Jr. says, "I feel bad for the Bears fan." Double doink.
Yeah. Jesus.
Wow. So, guys, we are going to take a quick little break as I get my voice back. It's starting to get a little crackly. I feel like I'm going through puberty again. But if you guys have gone through puberty, you can go over to youtube.com/manhour, put hashtag manhour in the comments for a chance to win Manscaped prize package, as this show is brought to you by Manscaped tonight. So head over to youtube.com/manhour, put hashtag manhour in the chat for a chance to win that giveaway. On the other side of the break, guys, we're going to talk a little bit of COVID and some NCAA basketball to wrap up the show. So if you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the podcast form. We'll be right back. Mike's thoughts. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. If you head over to manhourradio.com, you become a members over there. So the members tab is simply you get some behind the scenes footage. You get to interact with us post show here on the live feed, and you get a free t-shirt or a hoodie as well. So all you do is head over to manhourradio.com, click on the members pad, join us, and then after 6 months of being a member, you will send you out a hoodie as well. So Combs, if you want to go ahead and bring up that comment again, I didn't quite
I'll let you
see
address it.
Okay, so Kyle Kelly says, okay, cool. Dude can throw the ball when falling. Tom Brady was down 25 in the Super Bowl and found a way to win. Look, Pat is a good quarterback, but if you don't give him 5 seconds to throw the ball to Hill or Kelsey to find a soft spot in the coverage, they struggle. Wow. That's a lot to take in there. First things first is the first things first is this is the first time that we've seen the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line damaged in like any way while Patrick Mahomes was injured. The front seven of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was absolutely destroying the front five of the Kansas City Chiefs. They had no answer for it whatsoever. And so basically you were saying that Patrick Mahomes is good because, you know, he can just like throw at weird arm angles. I'm kind of confused by the comment. Like there were like at least 15 drops. Yeah, he's downplaying the fact that he, you know, that ball where he was parallel with the ground was just an insane throw. I just sent him that TikTok from earlier of all the different things that Mahomes did that day, but. Right. Tom Brady being down 25 in the Super Bowl and finding a way was a product of, you know, the Atlanta Falcons, you know, not running the ball, not running the clock, poor clock management, and doing things. So it was a totally different game. So you can't even put that on there. Lots of teams that come back from 25 down against the Atlanta Falcons and won a game in the fourth quarter. Cowboys. And for two, look, Patty Mahomes did everything that he could in that Super Bowl game. I mean, that game was not on Patrick Mahomes. I was on his offensive line. They couldn't stop him, and I know they were depleted, but that offensive line did him no service there at all. And Patty Mahomes tried making things happen. The Tampa Bay defense just did an amazing job at shutting him down and containing Kelsey and containing Hill. I mean, they did a phenomenal job. They were the MVPs of that Super Bowl, not Tom Brady. Yeah, I mean, and like I could probably single out a defensive player on that side, and that linebacker White, he was all over the field all game long. He was in the backfield, he was in coverage, and like he basically played one-on-one with Travis Kelsey, the best tight end in football, and he caught 2 passes all night. Yeah, and you put it on a really good defense who was embarrassed the last time that they played. So this was their revenge game, and they came out and got revenge. Like it just happened to be in the Super Bowl. Like on the flip side of that coin, if you want to put the two games together, yes, the Chiefs jumped out. What was it, 17-0 quickly in that first quarter, right? But after they did that, the Chiefs only scored 3 15 points on the Buccaneers defense after that first
and
quarter.
And the other thing in that
week 12.
In that comment is you have to give 5 to 7 seconds to allow Hill or Kelsey to find a soft. What do you have to give Brady? You have to give Brady time to throw the ball. That guy can't even get out of the pocket.
Well, and also in the defense, so the last year that the Brady was with the Patriots, he was getting the ball out on an average of 2.5 seconds. Like they're running a lot of like slant routes, right? And it was just catch, boom, catch, shoot.
I don't know. I don't know.
So let's go ahead and address one more comment before we get into the NCAA basketball news here. Corey Anderson did come out and say, like, I wasn't going to talk about this, but Patrick Mahomes is having surgery on his foot to repair that turf toe. You could definitely tell he was starting to hurt pretty bad toward the end of that Super Bowl game, which he suffered that turf toe versus the Browns, I'm not mistaken. So if you guys have never had turf toe, I downplayed it a lot like 5-10 years ago, but then I actually got turf toe one time. It is the worst feeling ever because there's literally nothing you can do but sit and rest it. There's no brace for it. There's no shot for it. There's no nothing. It flat out hurts. So anybody that plays on a turf toe, kudos to those guys 100%.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, when you play hurt like that, it makes it even tougher, which makes it even more impressive what this kid did. I don't care what Kyle Kelly says. And
he ran for 500 yards on a turf toe.
He ran for 500 yards running away from the defense. Like that shows how bad the offensive line were. He had to run 500 yards on pass plays, like just to get open to throw the ball.
There were times when you sent us that little TikTok video earlier in the day. There was one time it was the defensive end. It was the left defensive end. He was in the backfield almost as Patrick Mahomes got the snap. It was just utterly ridiculous.
There was no protection for Mahomes at all. And to even downplay what Mahomes is doing, the guy's been in the league for 3 years. He's been the AFC title game his rookie year, and he's been to the Super Bowl back-to-back in 3 years. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how you can say anything bad about the kid.
The only way you can say something bad about Patrick Mahomes is if he turns into Aaron Rodgers and they eventually start losing in the AFC Championship game every year, right?
Yeah, but I mean, this kid is probably. I mean, that also depends on what happens with the team too. You know what I mean? If the team just starts losing pieces and they fail to build back up, then that's on them too, and less on Patty Mahomes. That's why I don't get, like, I joke around all the time with Wyatt about Rodgers not being able to get out of the NFC title game and all that, but the Packers have done a crap job of building around him to give him the weapons to be a Super Bowl team. So that that's a big part of it too. You have to have the pieces around you. This is not a game. This is not basketball. This is not a game where you can have one superstar and be good. Like if the New York Jets get Deshaun Watson next year, if they get, I don't care who they get, you can give them Tom Brady next year. They are not going to the playoffs. They are not going to be a good team because they don't have anything else around them. You have to have pieces around you.
Yeah. So that is why I'm such a big advocate of not giving away the mansion to get a quarterback, because you consistently do have.
But what if a lot of these teams already have the pieces, though, is what I'm saying. Like,
right.
You've got the Colts have the pieces. They have the affordability. What you're going to be looking for over the next 4 or 5 years is maybe another wide receiver and maybe another running back. Even though they've got some really good running backs in Indianapolis, but we know how their lifespan is. You can find those guys in the 3rd, 5th, 6th round. Like, they're not guys that you need first-round draft picks for. What do you need a first-round draft pick for? Really good offensive linemen, which they are stacked at.
Right.
You need or a quarterback. I mean, they just don't need the pieces over the next 3 or 4 years, so you have the affordability to give up those first-round picks. You can find a top 10 running back in the 5th round. You can find a top 20 wide receiver in the 5th and 6th rounds.
Right. You are. Yeah. I mean, like, the running back market is such a dime a dozen right now, and the NFL is a 2-back league. I mean, like, even your top backs, Zeke, Saquon, CMC, they have that yin to their yang, right?
And that's what I
had
try to
that
get across
second
to everybody when they
dynamic.
say people get scared about that first round draft. Oh, we can't give up a first round draft pick. Can't give up 2 first round. Why? You still got the second, third, fourth, and you can find valuable players there. What are you going to find in the first round of this year's draft that is better than Deshaun Watson? What are you going to find in next year's draft in the first round that is better than Deshaun Watson?
It all depends on your team's off season, like moving forward. But I could see some
you're
offensive
not going to
linemen or
find
something.
anything better than Deshaun Watson because he is a winning quarterback. I mean, not record-wise, but he is a guy who has a 102 quarterback rating on a losing team, a kid who absolutely knows the game and has the quarterback IQ and can play at this level and has proven that he can play at this level. You're not going to find that in the draft anywhere. I don't care who you are because none of those kids have proven that they can play at this level yet.
And there's always something about the it factor, and I think Deshaun Watson has it. I mean, like it is a immeasurable and intangible. So it's just like it's the it factor. So like I think Deshaun Watson has it.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's why the first round draft picks are worth it because you still have your second round draft pick, your third round draft pick, your fourth round, and you can find valuable pieces in those rounds. It's been proven time and time again.
Yeah. I mean, what Tom Brady was a 6th round pick.
Tom Brady was 199th overall. 198 players got taken before the greatest player of all time.
And then the running back from the Tampa Bay or from the Green Bay Packers, wasn't he the 4th or 5th round pick as well? Heck, you even said Dak Prescott is a top quarterback in the league. He was a 3rd round pick, right? So I mean, like I definitely see your argument there, 100%. But I'm scared to give 3 or 4 first round picks. So
I am if I'm a bottom 16 team.
Right.
But if I am one of those teams that is close, I'm not afraid to give those up at all.
So let me address this tweet that just came across the board. The Raiders are starting to shop quarterback Marcus Mariota, is starting to gain some trade interest.
Ooh, so they're going to stick with Carr, huh?
But then we also heard last night that Derek Carr was going to be a part of a 3-team trade. It was the Raiders, Houston, and then somebody else. I believe it was the Bears, a part of a 3-person trade, basically sending Watson to the Raiders and Derek Carr to Houston. So
the Bears are going to be a part of a 3-team trade and not get a quarterback.
Right. So
yep, that's Ryan Pace for you.
So do you think that mean like with this news that Marcus Mariota is kind of now on the trading block as well? Are the Raiders trying to generate enough draft picks to go after Deshaun Watson? Does Deshaun Watson fit in Las Vegas?
Yeah. I mean, not only does he fit, but he's a huge draw. I mean, in that stadium, that brand new
They didn't sell
stadium,
one ticket in that stadium all year. They have to sell every ticket like next year to make money.
Yeah. He definitely fits in Vegas. He fits really like I said, Deshaun Watson has the IQ, the football IQ to fit in any system. He is just that damn good. I'm telling. If you put him in that Colts, God, I really hope the Colts do this so I can be proven right. You put him in a Colts uniform, Deshaun Watson versus Patty Mahomes in the AFC title game, at least 3 out of the next 5 seasons, at least.
As a Chiefs fan, I hope you are wrong because I don't want to see that. So let me ask you this question because like you and me have been on record saying that Trevor Lawrence is going to be a bust in the NFL, but Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence both came from the Diablo Sweeney coaching tree. They had the same offensive coordinators, the same head coach, the same system. But Trevor Lawrence is putting up better college numbers than Deshaun Watson did, and of course he won a national championship, but he got killed by who they lose? They lost to Alabama, right? This year. So what is the difference between the two? Like what are your eyes telling you the difference between the two?
Between
Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson is he's more built for the NFL style game, whereas I feel like when you watch Trevor Lawrence, I feel like he's more built for the college game. I feel like
like a Tim Tebow-esque type of guy.
Not
Great
really
college.
Tim not really
guy,
Tim Tebow, but yeah, I guess you could say Tim Tebow, Ryan Leaf. I know a lot of people hate when I say that about Trevor Lawrence, but I see a lot of that in him. He's not a very big guy. He's a tall guy, but he's not a very big guy.
He'll probably have some size though.
Which I guess doesn't really matter in the NFL because you can't touch a quarterback anyway.
If you breathe on him, it's a personal foul.
I got that. I don't know. I don't know. I watched Trevor Lawrence's game, and there's just something about it that I don't see it translating into the NFL.
So how would you feel if the Bears traded up in this year's draft to get Trevor Lawrence? We don't really care how you feel because the Bears are going to suck anyways this year, guys. This is Man Hour Nation, guys. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Pick us up a t-shirt as well. Catch us tomorrow, guys. Same time, same place. 8 p.m. East Coast time. YouTube.com/Man Hour.